Okay, so forget your spam folder for a second. We're about to dive deep into letters that showed up decades late.
And we're not just talking about, a technical glitch. These are full-on relationship disasters and historical bombshells.
Absolutely. Okay, so get this for a timeline. A letter in France gets delivered in 2015.
Right.
It was sent in 1877.
That's 138 years? What was it even about? Like state secrets?
A yarn order.
No way.
Yeah.
A knitting update took over a century to arrive. That's incredible.
And it's not just logistical failures, right? Sometimes the delay itself becomes the story. I mean, look at the John Lennon letter.
Oh, yeah, the one to Steve Tilston, the aspiring folk singer.
He was worried fame would ruin him, and Lennon writes him this amazing note in 1971 saying, being rich doesn't change your experiences.
In the way you think. And that letter, that single piece of advice, was lost for 34 years.
It literally inspired a movie, Danny Collins. The delay is the entire plot.
It just shows you a letter's value isn't just the words, it's the timing, the moment it arrives.
Okay, but for the most mind-blowing bureaucratic mess, we have to talk about Clerk Seymour.
Oh, this one is just a complete timeline twist.
A personal letter from, and I quote, an amorous Fanny, is postmarked 1958.
And it shows up 53 years late. But here's the kicker.
It was delivered to the wrong Clark Moore.
Exactly. Yeah. And when they finally tracked down the original Clark Moore, the guy from 1958,
What happened?
he had already married Fanny, divorced her,
Yeah.
and, get this, changed his name to Muhammad Sadiq.
You're kidding me. So the letter arrived half a century too late to a man who was, in a way, not even the same person anymore.
It's an insane document of both personal evolution and total system failure in one envelope.
That is wild. I have to follow that up with the irony of WWII soldier Jimmy Morris.
Okay.
He writes 3 letters home around D-Day, 1944. They get lost. Completely sealed, just vanished until 2025.
Wow. From the front lines.
And the most unbelievable part, he comes home from the war and spends his entire career as a mail carrier.
Oh, come.
Dedicated to making sure everyone else's mail got delivered on time. The irony is just staggering.
That kind of personal story,
Mm-hmm.
it really brings us to the darker side of this, the censorship. We always think it's just about, preventing troop locations from leaking.
But the sources we have show it was about intentional suppression. It wasn't strategy, it was narrative control.
Exactly. Morale. They were obsessed with controlling morale. Take Private Joseph Ditchburn in World War I.
What happened to him?
He wrote home about faltering morale among the troops, just telling the truth.
Yeah.
The military censors withheld his letter and stored it with his will.
So they were actively silencing the reality of what these soldiers were going through.
And rank played a huge part in this. It was a total power dynamic on paper.
How so?
Enlisted soldiers, their mail was read by junior officers. And sometimes they, joke about the contents. Your most intimate thoughts become office gossip.
That's a huge ethical breach. But senior officers...
They got the privilege of self-censorship. The state trusted them to vet their own words. The lower your rank, the more your life was an open book.
Wow. But even that sort of pales in comparison to the most heartbreaking story we found, the 7 Years' War.
Yeah, this was tough. A collection of 75 sealed French love letters from 1757.
All from wives, mothers, fiancés, written to captured French sailors.
And the British Admiralty just confiscated them. They were checked once for intel and then shelved.
For how long?
For 265 years. They sat untouched in an archive. The state literally held the love and affection of these families hostage.
Robbing them of comfort, of closure. That's the ultimate state betrayal, holding emotion in a box for centuries.
And it connects right back to today. I mean, we talk about preserving cultural heritage in war zones, like digitizing Ukrainian archives.
But those efforts often depend on what they call affinity.
Right. Whose stories the global community decides are important enough to save right now.
So, if we look at this history, governments controlling physical letters, redacting them, just letting them sit for centuries.
It raises some huge questions for our world, the digital world.
It really does. If the state can do that to a piece of paper for 265 years, just imagine what parts of our digital lives are being recorded and stored right now.
Things that could resurface decades from now and completely redefine who we were.
What unseen last letters of our time are just waiting on a server somewhere to be opened? Something to think about.